John. How are you?
Good. How are you?
We were just talking about how all these shows to keep getting postponed and all that, and I'm sure you've had your fair share of that. I think you're meant to be in Calgary right now, right?
We're supposed to be, yeah, something along those lines. We just made the decision to postpone. I don't know. I guess early February or something around that, and kind of announce it a little bit later to make sure. And then once we knew where we could relocate the dates, we made the announcement. But yeah, it's been a drag. But I think maybe this will be the last round of that. Hopefully, keep our fingers.
Yeah, hopefully, because you guys are meant to be coming. Like, I'm careful to say Montreal because you're actually going to be at Place Bell, which is technically Laval. And when I've mentioned Place Bell being in Montreal before, I've got quite a lot of grief that it's not technically Montreal. But for the sake of this interview, because we are Montreal Rocks, you're coming back to Montreal stroke Laval in April and playing arenas with Rise Against. So that must be an exciting proposition, like, to finally get back out, especially with those guys.
Absolutely. Yeah, they're good friends of ours. And we did this a long time ago. So it's going to be fun to do it again, to know what to expect. And they're such a great band. And it's, I think, a really a good compliment. It's a great show for the type of music,
Yeah, for sure. So when you're playing with a band like that, obviously you're both very established bands and you used to play in the big rooms now. Is there like a healthy competition between you? Does it make you play better because you know that they're playing the same bill?
That's an interesting question. I think we're more interested in doing our best for the crowd, no matter what. And that's what would always drive us. But, I think musicians are probably pretty competitive by nature, but we don't really sit there and say, oh, we're going to blow them off the stage or anything like that. It's they're like, that would be extremely hard to do with such a great band. We're just we're more interested in just absorbing the vibe and putting out the best show that we could possibly do. So we worry about ourselves.
And then you've got Nobro coming along on the tour, and they were meant to be on these dates as well. That's a band that a lot of people that follow you guys might not be aware of. What can you tell us about Nobro and how did they end up on the tour with you guys?
We knew of them, and they have a couple of songs that we had known already. And then, we were looking for openers. We got presented with a lot of different acts, and we liked the catalog. We wanted to support them. They're from Montreal, I believe.
They are indeed. We actually interviewed them not long ago.
Yeah, so it's just going to be a great show, and we're excited to have them on.
Yeah, have you seen them yet?
Not yet. No, not live.
So you mentioned that you get suggested quite a few names to open for you on tour. Is that always the way? And how do you actually what are the criteria for you to choose?
We'll usually have our own list, and then we'll ask, put it, especially if maybe our leads aren't working out for us, and we want to know who's available, or people will come to us and say, hey, if you guys are looking for a band, consider our band. And so generally that's kind of how it goes. But with main support, that's usually that's our direction usually. We were communicating with Rising Against more personally throughout this, and as well as with their management, of course. But it's always a challenge putting together a show and working on schedules. Like, we were really, really stoked to be playing with Pup on the west side of Canada.
Mm.
We had to postpone the shows. It all fell apart because they had stuff booked as well, and they do that the new dates. So and then we reached out to Anti-Flag because they're a great band and good friends of ours, and we know that any fan of ours is going to really appreciate Anti-Flag if they've never seen them before. So
yeah, they're always putting a good show.
Yeah.
What makes the perfect show for you these days? Obviously, you guys have been around for a long, long time now. I think next year is going to be your 30th anniversary, right? As a band.
Yeah, we started in 93. So yeah, that's pretty wild.
So after all this time, what still makes a great show for you? When you come off stage at the end of the night, what are the criteria that make you feel like that could not have gone any better?
Oh man, well, your own personal performance is usually the main driver of that thing. But at this point, and with the guys that we play in our band, we're gonna our personal performance, we all know we're gonna give it our 100%. So, and just that vibe of a good show, you know, that how the crowd responds, the energy in the air, you know, a great lineup really means a lot. I can't think of too many tours where we weren't satisfied with our lineup. The energy that you get from the crowd. I love when they're participating in the singing, and sometimes there's the magic too when there's some spontaneity that you weren't expecting, or you know, something like that happens. Or
so you've been playing live for decades now. You've been a popular band. You've had a following, really like a big following since the mid 2004, I guess, something like that. How do you keep it interesting for you, and how do you keep it interesting in a live environment for the people who have followed you for all that time?
I don't know. It's not hard. That's kind of what I feel like we were all born to do. It just sometimes when you're on the road, it can be a grind, but the show is usually the most satisfying part. I think it would be similar to you know, athletes who like the passion that's just so ingrained that there's some athletes just can never stop playing, and they never will. And then they get into coaching or something like that because it's just in their soul. I kind of feel like that's what it is. It's just that we just love to perform, and we like to express ourselves through music. And it's easy, to be honest, I think.
So Crisis of Faith has been out nearly 3 weeks now. How are you feeling about it at this point?
Man, really good. Obviously, we were really nervous. It had been 6 years since we released Afraid of Heights, and so much has happened. There's been so much distraction in the world that it was really easy to forget about what it was like to release a record again. And the response has been incredible. You know, I couldn't be more pleased with how the release has gone. It's just actually, it's really mind-blowing. It's been really awesome.
And are there any songs from the record that you're particularly looking forward to playing live?
Yeah, well, we've done a couple of shows already, and I was really stoked to play Forgiveness, and all the new songs, to be honest, but that one particularly, and that went really well. And I'm looking forward to playing Hanging Out with All the Wrong People, which is one of the back half of the record.
Yeah, nice. So what's next for you? You've got these dates coming up. What plans do you have for the summer at this point?
Festivals, hopefully more Canadian festivals and more stuff in Europe. But yeah, it's just gonna be touring. I hope it never stops.
Great. Well, I hope it never stops. Like, we've had enough stopping for the time being, and I'm very, very much looking forward to being back in a room, watching you guys and Rise Against. I'm a big Rise Against fan, and we actually spoke to them guys last year too. So yeah, we look forward to that. And thanks very much for spending some time chatting with me. And
thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, John. You have a good day.
Yeah, you too. Take care.
All right. Take care. Bye.